Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I want to go over a topic that appears to be, a little bit of a challenge, and it's probably just because of memorization, but it's specifically in the business module. So that's module 3, and it's the personality profiling. So I've had some conversations with students recently, and they've kind of come around and said, is there a way to memorize the personality profiles, the four different, the ABCD personality components that we talk about? And the answer is, well, yeah, kind of. I mean, it's four pieces of information. So your primary personality type, A, B, C, or D, right? How do you memorize anything? Generally, what I'm going to have people do is over and over rewrite the information. Now, you could do this, of course, through rote memorization, ROTE, rote memorization, which is just constant memorization. And you can write type A and use the term, use an equal symbol, it's equal to, and just know the names of the personality type. So type A is called the director, type B is called the socializer. Right. So you get the idea. So I would write type A equals director, type B is the socializer, type C is the thinker, right? And then type D is the supporter, right? So once you know those and you kind of get those in your brain, say them over and over and over. Sometimes it's easy to memorize kind of what their characteristics are because they have what are known as goal drives and fear drives, and I'll give you a little easier way to understand how that works. From a memorization standpoint. But if you remember those four names, director, socializer, thinker, and supporter, sometimes that could be the trigger to tell you exactly what you can expect as the goal drive or the fear drive from each of those four personality types. So the type A, right? We know the type A personality, but the A type is known as the director, and the fear drive and the goal drive. Sometimes it's easier just kind of think of it as, what do type A personalities kind of like and prefer, right? And what don't they like and don't prefer? So that's the way I'll kind of think about it when I look at all four of them. So I look at the type A, whose goal drive is to kind of be in control of things, take leadership, take charge, right? So you can say those things. But that's kind of the way I look at it, is what they like to do. What do A type personalities kind of like to do? They like to kind of be in charge and direct things and be the ones that take leadership and move things forward, right? And what don't they like? Well, and this would be the quote fear drive. So they don't like losing control. They don't like uh, feeling like they're being taken advantage of. And now remember, this is very specific, sort of the academic explanation of it. None of us like to be taken advantage of, but for the A-type personality, it's really, really uncomfortable for them, to the point where some cases they can't handle it, and they've got to kind of fight back against it. They don't want to be taken advantage of. Okay, so that you can see it from that perspective. What do they like? Being in charge, being in control, taking leadership. What they don't like is they don't like being taken advantage of, right? So those are easy ways to kind of understand the fear and the goal drive. B type of, when we think of the socializer, what do you automatically think of, right? You think of people and being social and being around and talking, not always talking, but what does a social butterfly type person, what do they like, right? What's their goal drive? It's to be near and around people, even if it's just one person or groups of people, right? They like to be in the mix. They like to be in conversation. Perhaps if they're not in conversation verbally, maybe they go onto the internet and write a ton of stuff. And social media, those are pretty good indicators that you're dealing with a B type socializer person. So they kind of like that. They like to be in and around the life of the party. Sometimes you could say, well, what don't they like, or what's their fear drive? Well, they don't like rejection. They don't, they're the type of folks that you don't want to call them out, for instance, on something if you don't have to. So that's a really uncomfortable situation for them. And now I'm going down A, B. What is the C? The C type is the thinker. So what do they like and what don't they like? What is their goal drive? What is their fear drive? They C type personalities, really strong C types. They like things that are in order. They like orderliness, right? Not just perhaps in their workstation, if that's the case, but just in other elements of their lives. It's one of the reasons why we see CPAs, right? Certified public accountants. So people that deal with mathematics, where there's very ordered, structured linearity to the job that they're doing. This is why we see C types generally navigating themselves, right? Gearing themselves towards that. So they kind of like that, right? They like to be kind of alone in their cubicle. And this, might be overstating it a little bit, but that's kind of the idea that they like to have order, consistency in their life, in their everyday life. Well, what don't they like? Well, they don't like being criticized for performance. So if they do things, they don't like people coming over and telling them, "Man, that's terrible. How could you? That's the worst piece of work. That's not good." They don't handle that really. They don't handle that well. And so you can see the fear drive and the goal drive. And this is where the thinker, the C type personality, would have these sort of characteristics. Okay. Now, again, I'm being, very black and white here with the explanation of this. Please don't go weaponizing this with your friends and families. Okay. The goal is to understand it so that you can use it in the sales scenario, which again, we talk about in module 3. Of course, you have the D type is the supporter. So as soon as we say a supporter, that's a person that likes to do what? To help and assist. Okay, so that's the thing that they like to do. What do they not like? Well, they don't like instability. They don't like things changing a lot. This is pretty classic when you have a really strong D type personality clients who, for instance, question you as to why do you keep changing the exercises? Why is the routine changing? Now they'll accept it, but it's just not the most comfortable scenario for them. And so what they like is when they can be of assistance and they can help and they can, I don't know, put the weights away for you, be comfortable talking and assisting and helping other clients if that's the case. And but they don't like the instability. Just as again, I'm just giving you an example of changing the workout around, trying of doing things on the spur of the moment, that could be a little uncomfortable. So that's how it works with the D type personality. Remember, everybody that we look at, everybody you talk to has that primary A, B, C, or D, but they also have a secondary. And one of the things we want to make sure you get from that particular lesson about that particular topic, personality profiling, is that everybody's going to be different, but they will tend to show one of the 4 characteristics, and that's going to rise to the top. But again, there is a secondary component to their personality that could buffer or not their primary personality type. And just keep that in mind. It's really important that during a sales engagement, you understand your clients or take a good guess. That's the best thing is take a good guess. It'll allow you to communicate more effectively with them when it comes to dealing with sales and closing the deal. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you have questions about this particular topic, you can let us know in the comments section. If it made sense to you and you understand it, then write the word understand. We are here to help you to make it through your BDU materials, the modules, and then pass the final exam, of course. Just let us know how we can be of assistance. Make sure that if you have not done so, please subscribe to the channel. Let others know about it as well. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.